Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Harold. I keep going to say, hi, my name is Harold. I'll be your instructor for today. 3 years of training, doing classes in the gym. But that's not the case. Hi, my name is Harold. I'll be your video for today. I'll figure it out. So today, technically, it's day 1 of the 3rd week, but I want to do a quick rundown. I'm just a little bit behind. I want to do a quick rundown of second week's training, how everything's been going. And I want to get to my core topic for today, which is power. I want to see about adding power to your routine and the little things I've been doing to get some extra bit of power training through the week. So then we go straight into the clips. I'm going to just show you little bits of my training and kind of talk over them and see what's going on. So here we are back in the gym. A lot of the other training has been quite samey, I mean, using all the same powerhouses, etc. Like the squats, like the deadlifts, as you know. The main difference is I'm supplementing my routine with some power cleans. So on some days, instead of doing deadlifts, I'm going to do some power cleans instead. So the power clean is just a variant of the full Olympic lift. You ever seen the Olympics? The clean and jerk where they jog onto their shoulders, squat right the way down, come back up, and then throw it overhead. So this one's just taking the clean element and doing an even more powerful version of it, where instead of squatting down under the weight, you're going to try land quite tall, which means you're going to have to use a little bit more power to throw the bar a little bit higher to catch onto your shoulders, and that's the power variant. I guess it'll be handy to also go through real quick what's the difference between basic strength and power. So when we're talking about strength versus power, I think the main difference in thinking is strength is just force, a simple force. If you squat 100 kilo, doesn't really matter how fast or how slow you lift it. If you go through the full lift with 100 kilos on your back, you've squatted 100 kilos. Power would be how fast you do it. So if you squat a little bit faster than someone who's really grinding it out, you've exhibited a little bit more power, a little bit more force, and it's a powerful lift, right? So the clean, I hope that made sense, but the clean is great for this because you can't do it slow. No matter how much you want to do it, you can't slowly throw a bar, you can't slowly throw a ball, you can't slowly jump onto a box. And this is one of the cool weight variants where we can use it to demonstrate and kind of practice our ability to exert that force very quickly with incremental load. So I really like it. It's a very, very cool lift for that. So the reason I like adding power is because I like that kind of general athlete kind of vibe with training. I think a lot of people like to, everyone likes to put people into boxes and kind of label things, and it makes the world a little bit more easy to digest. So it's not a problem in itself. But with my training, I do like people being generally capable, right? I like to be able to do quite a lot of different things. I like to run fast, jump high, lift heavy weights, move my body and stuff like that, right? So I think having a couple different facets of training through your routine becomes very, very handy, and power and strength tend to go quite hand in hand. They go quite nicely together. So if you could excuse my face as well, I'm just focusing really hard. It's been a while since I've done cleans, I'm completely honest. You can see a little bit of shifting. This is not a good example. This is not me showing you how to do the clean perfectly, by the way. Again, this is my unfiltered introduction back into training, trying to get back in the swing of things, and it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't that pretty sometimes. So I'm just taking my time, again, slowly working up in weight. You see me doing it with just the empty bar for a couple of sets. Just trying to figure out the bump point, trying to figure out the catch point, trying to make it feel nice, because that's one of the big things, the big difference between this lift and again the classic slow lifts. Like I said, the squats and the deadlift, it cannot be performed slowly, so you can't really slow it down. A lot of it's based on cues and feel, and making sure the intent is what is important, which is how fast the bar is moving. Of course, if I wanted to, I probably could have managed to get a bar from the floor to my shoulders a little bit heavier than today, but I knew at around 50 kilos, which I'm on right now, it didn't feel as snappy as I wanted it to be. It didn't feel as crisp. And if you start focusing too much on the weight on a lot of these lifts, you kind of miss the purpose of it, which is to build that speed, to build that ability to produce force very quickly, that power, like we said. So again, it's always really important to remember what is the purpose of the lift you're doing, what is the intention of that being in your routine, and right now, to build power. So focusing on the weight was of less importance to me. Moving swiftly on to the last workout of the week, Thought I'd just round out some of the other big lifts through my routine. So here's a squat, and ended up at 100 kilos for my working sets. And again, I just want to quickly round off. Instead of showing you every single workout and every single increment I go up, you get the kind of basics. But to talk about the increments I'm going up in, generally speaking, the bigger the lift, the bigger the jump you can afford to make. So on these squats, I've been making about 5 kilo jumps every single time. So assuming everything feels nice, everything looks nice, and everything's going according to plan, then I'm going to do 5 kilo jumps for a few weeks just while I'm building up, because you can build up quite rapidly. One of the most basic rules of thumb is just don't jump more than, say, 10% between workouts. That becomes quite aggressive, and also there's just no rush. You know, I mean, maybe you got an extra 2.5 kilos on you, maybe you got an extra 10 kilos, who knows? But the point isn't to rush to your max weight. The point is to allow everything to adapt, your joints, your tendons. It's not just whether your muscles are recovered and you can lift the weights. It's about getting that cumulative volume and really building a big powerhouse of a machine. Hoorah, or whatever. Onto the overhead press here. And here's where another one of my little tweaks to my program that's going to help me just slowly practice and get into the swing of using power throughout my week again. And it's cleaning your overhead press, and it's something I advise most people do as a general rule of thumb anyway. So basically, instead of having to use the rack and grabbing the bar from shoulder height already, we're just going to use it from the floor. We're going to practice a little clean in between every single overhead press. So this is a great way just to get that kind of passive power clean progression through the week. As you can see, I'm overhead pressing roughly the same that I was power cleaning for my first session back, because the musculature of the hips is much smaller and much weaker than the musculature of the upper body, the shoulders. So it's always going to be capped by your ability to overhead press the weight and not necessarily by the ability to clean that weight. It's obviously different for someone who's never really been into training, but generally speaking, once your power clean is roughly trained up and you got that ability behind you, you're never going to be overhead pressing, or you shouldn't be overhead pressing weight that you can't clean onto your shoulders. So it's always a good habit to get into that. And if I'm going to be completely honest, I think it's just cool, man. I think going back to that general functionality, I think it's good to replicate things that you're not going to see in the real world, and you're not always going to have a rack in the real world. So that ability to pick up something from the floor, taking it overhead, it's just got that rawness to it. And into my final lift of the week, we're on to deadlifts. So this is my deadlift day instead of my power clean day. But like I said, adding those power cleans in between the overhead press, I'm getting that regular practice. So instead of only doing it once or twice a week, I'm doing it pretty much every day I'm in the gym. So here's me just running through the weights, going my way up, back onto increments real quick. Overhead press, I've only been going up about 2.5 again, small muscles. Whereas my deadlift, jumping about 10 kilos per set. And again, following the 10% rule, I started on 100 kilos. 10 kilo jump's not going to kill me. It seems to be doing okay. So I'm back to about 120 kilos in this clip. And again, still feeling quite nice. So far so good. Very excited with where this training is going. It feels great to be back, man. So that was basically it for the training. So that was my second week in the gym. I just want to round off with a couple main points about adding the power into the routine. So first quick tip, make sure when we're adding the power variants, we're not going to be seeing these high reps. We're not even going to be seeing 5, 6, 7, definitely nowhere near the 10 to 15 reps. You want to see low reps when you're building up these when you're building up the form and the technique. And realistically, for most of your routine, you're not really going to see high level athletes doing high repetitions on these lifts. They're just so technical, require so much positioning. Any level of fatigue is just going to take you away from doing it properly. And again, when you take away from doing it properly, you're just trying to muscle up the weight, and you'll lose the intent, you'll lose the training stimulus you're trying to achieve, which is to build that power production. So don't fall into the habit or fall into the mistake of going high reps and trying to muscle out these lifts. It's not made for that. It's a technique based one. Cap mine all around 3 and just focusing on nice clean form every single time. Much more important than any of the other lifts. A bench press, you can have a little bit of variance, you can have a little bit of tweaking and moving, as long as it's not injurious, obviously. But you can't really get away with it on the cleans and the snatches. Just keep it low, keep it simple. Second point I want to talk about, very simple, very passive. I really like it. And it is as simple as intending to move the bar fast, right? So during the concentric phase of your lift, the lifting phase, try move it as fast as you possibly can within your ability, of course. And so concentric phase, the lifting phase, take the squat for example. On the way down the eccentric, take your time, no real rush, just make sure you're getting the positions correct, but definitely on the rebound and on the way up, try and move the bar as fast as physically possible. This is going to train your ability to recruit those motor units very quickly. It's going to increase your force production. So that wraps up this week. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I hope you find something that maybe you can slip into your routine. As always, if you enjoyed, please leave a like, please subscribe, always helps me out. And moving forward, we'll see what little tweaks we will be making. Other than that, have a lovely day. I'll see everyone later. Peace.